You know what, Sam?
What?
It's time to cue Brass Bonanza.
Yes, it is. So, yeah, those watching, I'm actually wearing my Whalers jersey because Sam's right about Brass Bonanza because tonight's game, we're recording most of this game before the Buffalo game because Buffalo game is Whalers night. And
Yep.
Sam, I'm sure you are hoping to hear Brass Bonanza.
Yes. I hope so. I love Brass Bonanza. Best goal song.
Yes, well, again, we hope because based on the last game, Sam, it wasn't that good, but we will get to that. But first, for those who are still wondering about wanting to go to Whalers Night or not, there is a great deal that we have, isn't there, Sam?
There's a great deal, but unfortunately, by the time you listen to it, Whalers Night will have come and gone. But guess what? There are two
Yeah, true.
games this weekend. There are two games this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So you use promo code Caniac Report, get $20 off your first purchase. You can go to the game Saturday, or you can go to the same game on Sunday. Going to weekend games are always fantastic. So make sure you use our promo code so you're at the game and get to enjoy Carolina Hurricanes hockey.
Yep, it's going to be a weekend filled with adventure. And another thing, too, is we have a link for donations. So if you feel like you want to donate, there is a link to that in both our YouTube and traditional podcast side of things. And another thing, too, is remember, if you are watching us on YouTube, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode. And if you're listening to us wherever you get your podcast, whether it's Apple, Spotify, remember, leave a rating, a review, and be sure to be constructive if you're criticizing us. Do not just go about name calling, please. But if you like us, please rate. It really does help us out. So, Sam, a few things happened around the league recently. One of them is Mark Scheifele is now the all-time franchise leader in goals for Winnipeg/Atlanta. So, congrats to him.
No surprise that he hit that mark. He's a great player, one of their better players. So good for him.
Yes, very good. He is a very, very talented player. Definitely their best center, in my opinion. And
Yep.
I don't know if you could argue maybe their best player. They have a lot of great players right now because they're playing so fantastic, Sam.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, Winnipeg, what? They've won like 11 games in a row, something
Yeah,
ridiculous like that.
it is
So
ridiculous.
Winnipeg is just going to keep doing what they're doing. They're Stanley Cup favorites and contenders. So I'll be curious to see how well they continue to do and if they can get over the hump in the playoffs because they've kind of been like Toronto and they choke in the playoffs. So let's see if Hellebuck can let that past go away and he can do well.
Yes, definitely. And another thing too is Sam, we have an official date. Uh the draft, even though it's decentralized, it's going to be held in LA. And it's going to be on June 27th and 28th. So that's going to be coming up. So, guys, if you like to watch the draft like I do, be sure to put that on your calendar because I like watching the draft, even though it's decentralized, Sam.
When were those dates again?
June 27th and 28th.
Oh, good. It's a Friday.
Yep. I'm
Very nice.
happy about that. I like it when it's on the weekends, Sam, and I'm sure
Yes,
the
so do I.
NHL does as well.
Yes. Oh, yes. More people watch.
Exactly. So we'll see how the draft goes, but at least we have a date. Sam, this year's draft isn't supposed to be as high end as the others,
Yes.
but we'll see how it goes. And apparently, Gary Bettman made a snide remark apparently about the draft. He said, "Well, this is," I'm paraphrasing here, but he kind of said, "Well, this is the draft you guys proposed." So to
Oh,
the
for the
owners and GMs,
as a decentralized,
yeah, yeah.
pretty
It's
much. It's what they
you
asked
can
for.
tell he does not like the decentralized draft. I don't like it either, but
No, I don't either. It's stupid.
yep. I understand it from a business side, but other than that, I'm still not uh well, I guess probably specifically more from a financial side of things, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it either. Another thing too is Sam Vancouver made an extension with one of their goalies in Lankinen
Yep.
5-year, $4.5 million contract. Obviously, that is a player they want to keep.
Yes. Makes me think Demko's on his way out.
It makes me think that too. He does have health issues, and it
Yep.
seems like he's not the only goalie that has health issues. There are lots of goalies in the NHL, Sam, that have
Pretty.
issues. Oh, so many goalies.
Yep.
Oh man, but I mean that's to me kind of part of the reason why. Like, if there's a pure starting goalie in the NHL, no team is going to trade them no matter what because
Yeah.
they are that uh scarce in this
Yep.
league.
Yeah. It's just a fact. We need one. There are a lot of teams out there that need one, and the ones that have them aren't going to let them go. That is for sure. We saw even Nashville. They were thinking, oh, maybe they were going to move Saros, and they didn't even do that. They kept Saros. So just, it's not going to happen.
No, it really isn't. Which honestly, I think we're just going to ride Kachekov and Anderson to the playoffs just because I don't know how you make it better. I just don't.
Unless like Demko gets healthy, and he's healthy the whole down the stretch. In general, there's just no one out there unless you're going to trade for a guy with solid term,
Yeah.
right? And the
But there
only
was a
player
goalie trade though, with Ville Husso getting traded from Detroit
I saw that. Yep.
to Anaheim. So that's interesting.
Yeah, interesting to see if Gibson's on the move. So we'll see if that's what the purpose of that deal was for.
Another
They've got
goalie
time. They've
that
got
has
time. They got
health
a week.
issues.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. The deadline is, I think, next week.
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah. So,
good thing I have that day off because it could be something for the
yeah.
Hurricanes, but also could be nothing for the Hurricanes at the same time, Sam.
Yep.
So very much of a wild card. But now let's talk about the Hurricanes as we're already talking about them though. Sam, I was so happy about this because you know me, I'm a huge documentary type of guy.
Yeah.
But Seth Jarvis is going to be featured in season 2 of Amazon's Face Off documentary series. Congrats to him. Sam, I cannot wait to see him on
Yep.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. That'll be good. Good for Jarvis. Good for the team, and good for exposure to the organization.
Yes, I am too. Are you planning on watching that
Yeah,
too?
it's got a Hurricanes player. That's always been my
Okay.
complaint is they do these things and Hurricanes players are never involved. So yeah, I'll watch this one.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy, and honestly, I think Seth Jarvis has the personality to not only be on a documentary, but probably be on a TV show, just because he is that funny, that witty. He is such a great guy, and definitely could see him basically on any type of format, movie, TV show. I mean, just imagine if they did like uh a Seth Jarvis like uh off the office type of scenario TV show. Wouldn't that be funny on
Yeah.
Seth Jarvis? Oh man. The next thing, and this is the last thing we're going to cover, and then we're going to cover the 2 games here, is that apparently it was released that apparently the Hurricanes and Taylor Hall are possibly um there might be extension in place for Taylor Hall. So
Hey, I'm all for
keep an
that. I
eyes
think
up for that.
I think I made comment after like his second or third game. I'm like, Taylor Hall's looked really good. Like I think he fits in really well here. I think that's a trade that makes a lot of sense, and I would love to see an extension in place for Taylor Hall.
Yeah. Um
I
Going
view him
into the
as the
break, I
replacement for
think he was a
Roslovic
lot yeah. Yeah, I
because we're
think
not
that'd
going to
be a
keep
good
Roslovic,
replacement. No.
and
Mm-mm.
Roslovic doesn't really play center anyway, so he's playing it. He would played it last game, but that's out of the norm. So you're placing winger for winger. I think Taylor Hall's the better of the two players, and hopefully, honestly, as we keep going, I'm hoping Taylor Hall starts to really play, start producing some as well. But I think he's looked very good and gives you a second power play player to hopefully start putting the goals in.
Yeah. Um I thought he looked better heading into the break than the past couple games, but I think he can get it going. I think
Yeah.
he's that talented too. And I mean, obviously the Canes have been struggling, Sam,
Hmm.
uh, with the whole thing especially the comments after the Montreal game, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let no, we'll talk about that after we recap the Montreal game, but uh, it's it's definitely going to be interesting because adding Hall and Rantanen, we haven't gotten the results yet that we've wanted.
Nope. Nope.
And there's lots of questions I can tell from Hurricanes fans, both on just on any social media platform that you see. So, yeah, definitely going to be an interesting time with 1 week away until the trade deadline. Oh, and another thing too, Sam. I read the article that was released. I think the article was released today, but Sebastian Aho wrote an article, and I thought
Yeah, I
that
saw
was
that.
really good.
Yep, I saw that.
What was your reaction to that?
I think it's. Oh, I think it's good. I think it's a good way for players to communicate to fans, and I think it's good for the fan base to see that these guys care too. And I think that's what you saw.
Yes, I can tell there was a lot of great emotion in that
Yep.
article. You can tell he loves the fans, he loves being in Carolina,
Yep.
and he loves Rod Brindamore, which is awesome. I I think even though there might be fair criticisms of the coach, I think it's important, Sam, and I think you'll agree with this, to have a good relationship with the coach.
Yeah, because if you don't have a good relationship with your coach, then and you're a star, then one of you's on the move, and that's just the reality of the situation. That's how it is in the NHL, right?
Yes, it
So if
is.
Aho and Rod had a bad relationship, in this case, I believe Rod would be the one to go because Aho's the one that is on the on ice talent, and he's the face of the franchise in many ways. So it's good to see because you need that, especially when you just signed your head coach to a long term deal. Again, I've made my criticisms. I don't believe that deal should have been as long as it is for a lot of the reasons that we're seeing now. And I believe it's important to recognize as well, like you said, that there's fair criticisms of the coach. And the people who are saying, "Oh, I don't know if Rod's the guy," I think they have a lot of good reasoning behind that. Some are just saying it because they're idiots and they're seeing losses, but there are some that are seeing it and they're making their points. And there's a good case to look at other options, and as well as I think there's a good case to keeping Rod as well. Uh, and my belief is you shouldn't be making people feel bad for having either view because I think there's evidence for both. And
Yes,
it's just a reality. Rod's not perfect. If you think he is, you don't know what you're talking about. But Rod's not the worst coach in the NHL. If you think that, you don't know what you're talking about. Right? You don't bring a
exactly.
team that missed the playoffs for over a decade into the playoffs for over half a decade now, and you're a bad coach, right? So, I mean, you aren't considered to be one of the top choices for Team Canada for head coach if you're a bad coach. So, Rod's a good coach, as well as I believe the Athletic had done a poll, and Rob Brindamore was top 3 coaches that players wanted to play for. I think he was number 2 behind John Cooper. So it's like,
Let's show that to Mikko Rantanen.
yeah, right. Mikko Ranta was probably the guy who wants to go play with John Cooper. Uh, but it's just, it's just a reality that we have, and it's good to see that Aho gets along with the head coach. And I thought the article was really good, and I agree with Adam on this that if you're criticizing him to the extent that a lot of you guys were trash talking Eric Stahl towards the end, you don't know what you're talking about because you don't. And Aho's a great player. He's still a point per game, and if that's bad, well, just imagine when he actually gets going.
Yes. And I think I mean, I do think he would agree in the fact that he hasn't played his best season as of yet.
Absolutely. Look, fair criticism saying he hasn't played his best is fine. But if you're like trade him, he's
No,
no good, then I don't know what you're talking. You're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. There's no evidence that that's the direction you need to go.
exactly. Well, Sam, let's get to a sponsor and then we'll recap both the games. It might not feel like it, but spring's right around the corner. Know how you can tell? Golfers are hitting the links and have some tournaments to talk about. And if you want to do more than just talk, put your money where your mouth is. Get in on all the tee to green action with DraftKings Sportsbook. From Thursday's opening round through the closing round Sunday, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with tournament props, live betting odds, odd boots, and so much more. If you've never bet on golf before, it's easier than you think. Just pick something simple like a golfer to win the tourney and make your pick. It's just that easy. Here's something special for first timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-878-97777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Blue Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Okay, Sam, the dreaded Montreal game. This was also the game where season ticket members were able to go to Lenovo and watch it on the Jumbotron. Unfortunately, we lost that game 4-0. But one thing I do want to say about that STM event is that they had something new, Sam. They had on the ice the numbers of the players being projected from what was happening actually on the game. I thought that was actually pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yep. So now the dreaded game. So one thing that we found out right before the game, Sam, is that Tyson Jost was scratched and they put in Riley Stillman. So 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. And we also had interesting lines too. I don't know. Now, here's the thing. Looking at them, I honestly wasn't the biggest fan of it. But here are the lines. You had Aho centering Holland Blake, Svechnikov, Roslovic, Rantanen, Martinuk, Stahl, Jarvis, Robinson, KK, and then you had the defensive pairs intact, and then you have Stillman as the extra guy. He only played around 1 minute and 36 seconds. So, frustrating game.
Yep. Annoying to watch, frustrating to watch. I thought Carolina was actually the better team for the first 5 or 10 minutes. Oh, they had some good chances, and then it just sputtered out. And once Montreal scored, that was kind of it. Carolina wasn't overly threatening the rest of the game.
No, they weren't. And I think it showed in the shot totals, Sam. I mean, we only had 10 shots by the time we reached almost the half point of the game. You can't have that, especially with a team I tweeted this out on our X thing. This team is a lot better than what we saw against Montreal, and I still believe that. It's just frustrating that this team hasn't really been dialed in, and you had Slavkovsky and Lane scoring in the first period. Sam, I know Anderson was in goal. Those first 2 goals, I don't blame on him because they were tips.
No, really I don't. I blame that third one on him, though.
Yes, I do, too.
He was way too deep in that net.
Yes, and to me, that was the backbreaker. Canes have come back from 2-0 deficits. They haven't come back from 3-0 deficits.
No, it's hard to do that.
It really is. But to me, honestly, the most impressive thing, Sam, from the Hurricanes that game was them killing off a 5-on-3 power play that Montreal had.
Yeah, so you would think that would have given you some kind of momentum, and it just did not.
Yeah, and it's very, very frustrating. And then in the third period, you had Hudson scoring. Honestly, I didn't see that goal because, Sam, by that time, we were like, okay, 10 minutes left in the game, 3-0 Montreal. We're probably not going to win that game.
Yep, time to go home.
Yeah, it was very frustrating. And then to me, I think the thing that's going to spark a lot of talk over is Brendan Moore's comments after the game. And I don't have his comment up, but he basically with me paraphrasing what he said, is we need to get back to our identity.
Hmm.
And this is when I think there is criticisms of Rod that I would agree with, in the fact that his system is a defense first mentality.
Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? That's fine if you have a lot of players that don't have a lot of offense, don't have a lot of skill. But here's the thing, Aho. Now, here's the thing. Aho has flourished under Brind'Amour's system. So to me, even though he's still point per game, um, that's solely on him, not on the coach, because he has flourished under Brind'Amour. But you have Rantanen, you have Svetch, you had Natchez, who performed very well at the start of the season, then fell off the cliff. Part of the reason why we traded him.
Yeah.
But you had these very skilled guys who have who have struggled to score, and that's when it makes you wonder about Brind'Amour.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been saying that for a while. That I'm not sold on his system. I've said before we haven't done much better than Toronto in many of these years. I think in a best case year we've won 5 more games than they have. In a worst case year, I think we've won 3 more games than they have. I think it was a worst case year. I think we lost. It was 2. We lost to Tampa in 5 in the second round. So it's the playoffs matter, and sometimes the system matters. And one of the things that does Laviolette in, by the way, Stanley Cup champion, is when he goes to a team, he has a system, he works it, and he doesn't change it, and teams figure it out. So if you're naive enough to think that teams don't figure out your system and then start to counter it, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it happens. Now, I do believe that there is some argument to be made that there should be some offense. Like, I don't think we should scrap the system and go completely, full-throated offense, outscore your problems kind of team. I don't think that's necessary, but I think it's necessary to maybe give your skilled guys, like, hey, go out there and show us why why you're skilled.
Exactly. I agree with that.
But other than that, I don't have a lot to say about this game. I thought it was a frustrating game. It was a bad game. We lost both games in Canada. I think it's unfortunate. And I think you need to get a win tonight as we're recording this against Buffalo, because that's a game you should win.
Yes, it really should. And another thing too that to me really disappointed me the most in this game was Rantanen's performance. Do now, despite his performance, I still think the Hurricanes should keep him. Sam and I mentioned this in our last episode,
Absolutely.
that I think the best benefit to the Canes is to keep Rantanen, but he did not play like he wanted to be here. But granted, the players around him didn't play like they wanted to be here either. So it's on the players around him to get it together, because if you can start winning, then maybe you'll give Rantanen a reason for him to stay uh,
Yep.
and want to extend. I don't think it's a question of trading Rantanen. It's a question of extending him.
Yep. I
That's
agree.
the biggest thing. Like what I mean, honestly, what do you think? Do you think he's going to extend, especially
I don't
before
know.
this Buffalo game?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either, because it's really been frustrating. But if the Hurricanes can win against Buffalo tonight, and maybe having that Whalers energy will get them going.
I hope
Maybe,
so.
maybe not. But if they do win, then again, just take it one game at a time. But uh, we need to see this team play it in a way to
Yep.
where yes, you do want the new guys to get scoring, but also play in a way where you don't have to sacrifice your whole game just for those two players. Because I think there is some truth to what Adam Gold said.
I agree. I agree.
So yeah, you ready for Whalers night, Sam? You
I'm ready. Let's
excited?
let's go. I'm ready.
Yep. So we are going to recap the Buffalo game now. Wow, Sam. A great game. The new guys really, really stepped up.
Yeah, they did. Hall had a great game. Matt Rantanen had a great game. I thought Blake had a good game. I mean, it was a good game.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, in the first period, Sam, I thought we were the most dangerous in the first period. We got lots of chances, and throughout, and honestly, I mean, I thought this was a game where Hurricanes could have gotten more goals because of all the chances they've got. But in the first period, I thought they were the best, and the goals showed up for their hard work. You had Jordan Stahl,
Yep.
Sam, who he didn't shoot the puck, but it hit off of his skate and went in.
Yep.
So got some puck luck there. That's good. Kind of the puck luck that Montreal got, I thought, in their first two goals in their game. It's kind of nice to see the Hurricanes getting that puck luck. And then you have Sebastian Aho scoring, Sam, from Mikko Rantanen. I was really happy to see those two get some chemistry there.
Yep.
Really nice pass from Rantanen to Aho. And then you have, because Buffalo started Uka Pekka
Luukkonen.
Luukkonen, I believe. And then
Yep.
after that,
Pekka Luukkonen.
yep. And then after that, former Hurricane James Reimer comes in. I was shocked that he came in
Jimmy!
that early.
Love Jimmy. Good for
you
Jimmy.
love Jimmy, don't you?
I do. I think Jimmy had it. I said that we should have claimed his butt back when he hit the waiver wire. That was I still think it was a mistake we didn't. I thought he played good tonight. James Reimer was not why Buffalo lost this game.
No, they were not. But I mean, weren't you shocked that they pulled Luukkonen early?
Yeah, it makes me wonder if he was hurt.
It could have, but I mean, I will admit that second goal, that Aho goal, he probably should have had. But
Yes.
regardless, Sam, that doesn't really stop the bleeding for the Hurricanes because we still got a couple goals on Reimer. And Sam, Mikko Rantanen on the power play scores some Svechnikov and Gossespierre. So 2 points tonight for Mikko Rantanen.
Yep.
A goal and assist. Love seeing that.
It was so much needed. So needed for him to do that. And you need that kind of stuff from Mikko. That's the kind of game that you expect from him. Like, he needs to be playing that way all the time. And I think he can because he's done it before. It's just a matter of getting used to it, getting involved, and we saw that tonight. He was all over the game. That first line was excellent tonight.
They were. Svech, Aho, Rantanen had a lot more chances than the goals that they got.
Yep.
It was just very good.
Adam Gold was saying on the aftermath that Aho basically could have had a hat trick tonight, which is agreed. I agree.
Yeah. And another player, I mean, that I thought was good, and I mentioned him before before Adam mentioned him. Sorry. Yeah, we're talking about Adam a lot this episode. I'm sorry, I'm already noticing. But Jackson Blake, man, his hands are just so good. It's amazing.
Yes. Yep. And I agree, once he puts on, and that's what everyone's saying really, once he puts on a little bit of weight and a little bit of muscle, dude's going to be a I think he's going to be an all-star in this league. He's top 6 guy. And then just throw in Bradley Nadeau and Felix Unger-Sorum. Like, this team has some solid skill on the forward group coming up.
Yes, they really do. But Sam, you have Alex Tuck scoring for Buffalo on the power play. And I mean, I thought the penalty kill started good, and then Sam, you had Orlov kind of yep, he whiffed on the puck right to I can't remember which Buffalo player it was, but it was a bad turnover and it led to a goal for Alex Tuck. So
Yep.
Of all the players that we mentioned that were good, I didn't think Orlov was at his best because I think I definitely on the first Buffalo goal, I think yes, that was his fault.
Yep.
The second goal, I think that was a combination of him and Chatfield because when Buffalo scored again, it was Peterka that scored in the third period. you had Orlov cheated because he was trying to lay a big hit, and I also think Chatfield read the play poorly. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know if Chatfield. I guess I didn't notice if Chatfield wasn't very good, but yeah, Orlov was not good tonight. But Orlov hasn't been good for a while, and I just want to give props to Burns. I thought he had a good game. I criticized the dude all the time. I thought he was solid tonight.
He was, and honestly, I would say Chatfield had a good game. It's just that specific play. If you remember that 2-on-1 chance, Chatfield was in the middle. He needs to be more focused on the player without the puck than the player with the puck. So he really needed to read the play better because it's always the defenseman focuses on the player without the puck and the goalie focus on the player with the puck. But
Yep.
it is what it is. But in between those two Buffalo goals, Sam, you have a great, amazing pass from Jack Roslovic to Taylor Hall. And boy, that was such a sick pass, but I'm also very happy for Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, I believe it was in the third period where he had a breakaway, but he couldn't score. He had a great night as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Again, I just there weren't a lot of players that I thought were bad tonight, other than just like Orlov. So yeah, I mean, I liked the way the team played tonight. Like I really did. I thought they played well. Like all the lines, the Stahl line, the Robinson line, the Jost line, and the Aho line. Like everybody played well, and that's okay, and that's what you need.
Yes. And now, I will say, I mean, just looking at how this roster is constructed, I really do wonder how far we can get into the playoffs just with the center depth that we have, just because I love Jost. I love KK, but they're no second line centers. And we know Stahl, he's not a second line player. So
No, not anymore.
yeah, that's my main concern heading into this playoffs. But I mean, like I told you on our way back, Sam, I am more happy about how Rantanen played than us winning, just because the Rantanen situation has future implications. And I'm not talking about the future as in the off season or the next season, but also possibly into the playoffs. I still think
Yep.
he doesn't get traded, but you never
I
know.
agree. I
Now,
agree.
there was a report, Sam, during the
Yep.
game from Frank Saravelli saying that the Canes will keep him even if they're not close to an extension. And I think I agree with that decision. I completely do. Wouldn't you say?
I don't think it makes a lot of sense for us to trade him. I mean, you've got a guy who can single-handedly, if he's playing well and he starts to really gel, can single-handedly drag you to a Stanley Cup final. And with this roster, it really shouldn't be hard for him to do that. And I think we're in a good way. I think you need to add some defensive depth, and I would love to add a second line center. If there's a deal to be made out there to get that done, I think you try to do your best to figure it out. But if not, I still think this team can get some bracket luck. I think Carolina can beat the Devils. I think Carolina can beat the Caps. And I think if you get stuck playing Florida, I think that might be hard. But and again, you can get some bracket luck. Maybe you get stuck playing Toronto. I think Carolina is in a way that if they get bracket luck, they need bracket luck to get to the finals. But I think they can handle the Metropolitan Division.
They could. I do agree with you on New Jersey. With Washington, I just don't know, just because they play a very uh different brand of hockey.
I
So
also want to see if Ovechkin stops
hmm,
giving a crap if he hits the goal mark,
he could. You never know.
which is I think he does. I think he'll stop caring, and I think that matters. He didn't give a
Yeah,
crap in the playoffs last time. So
yeah. And also Sam just in the game, Seth Jarvis scores
yep,
and on the empty net. So it's 5-2, a great win for the Hurricanes. Could have been, I think, 7 or 8-2 just because of all those chances. But great win. Now we play against Edmonton on Saturday, Sam, and then we play, I believe, Calgary on Sunday. So it's going to be a busy weekend for the Hurricanes.
Yes.
Got to win both games, I think.
I think. Yeah, I think you need to get 3 out of 4 points.
Oh yeah, well yeah, 3 out of 4. Edmonton's going to be tough, but I still think
You could, if you drag Edmonton to overtime and beat Calgary, I can live with that.
I
It's
can
Western
too.
Conference teams. If I get 3 out of 4, I'm okay. I would prefer all 4 points on this weekend, but 3 out of 4 isn't going to make me pissy.
Yep. And obviously it was Whalers night. Sam Whalers
Yes.
night is always fun.
Yep. Love Whalers
I love
night.
the
Love Brass
music.
Bonanza. Anything is better than our freaking goal song we have now. It's so
For the record,
god
Sam does
awful.
not like the current goal song.
No, it's trash. It's not even a real goal song. It's so dumb. I know our buddies over at Caniac Sessions and Warning Take aren't going to like that. I'm sorry, guys. You know I hate that goal song.
I don't care. Listen, I don't care because the Hurricanes score when that gets played. So I care more about us winning than a goal song. But that's just me. A great win. Again, we need to build off of this and hope. And I mean, trade deadline is a week away if you guys are listening to this on the day it comes. So maybe we'll get some more news on Rantanen and maybe other deals along the way. So we will see you guys Monday.